Will Kennedy's endorsement of Trump cause a seismic shift in the race for the White House? Michael Snyder reports. Is Donald Trump about to get the key endorsement that he needs to win the presidency? There's been a lot of twists and turns in this election season. And now there has been another one. It's been reported that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will drop out of the race on Friday and officially endorse Trump. In such a close race, this endorsement could potentially make a world of difference. Some recent polls have shown Trump with a narrow lead, but other recent polls have shown Kamala Harris with a narrow lead. If RFK Jr. can deliver a bump of even a couple of percentage points for Trump, that would be huge. At this moment, RFK Jr. is not publicly confirming anything, but ABC News and NBC News have both spoken to anonymous sources that say that RFK Jr. will definitely drop out and endorse Trump on Friday. Independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. plans to exit the presidential race Friday and endorse GOP nominee Donald Trump, according to ABC News and NBC News citing anonymous sources. If you go to his official campaign website, you'll see that Kennedy is scheduled to address the country about his path forward on Friday morning. Phoenix, Arizona, August 21st, 2024. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will address the nation live on Friday about the present historical moment and his path forward. What? Kennedy to address the nation. When? Friday, August 23rd at 2 p.m. ET. And where? Phoenix, Arizona. Address will be provided to registered press. Interestingly, Trump is also scheduled to be in Phoenix on Friday. Do you think that's just a coincidence? Of course not. According to ABC News, there is a possibility that Kennedy could appear on stage at Trump's event on Friday night, but nothing has been finalized at this point. One possible scenario being discussed is for Kennedy to appear on stage with Trump at an event in Phoenix on Friday, though the sources caution that Kennedy's thinking could always change, and sources close to Trump say no plan for Friday is finalized. This is truly a stunning development. On Wednesday, J.D. Vance confirmed that there has been a lot of communication between Kennedy's campaign and Trump's campaign. Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, said in an interview Wednesday that there's been a lot of communication back and forth between Kennedy and his campaign. I have not spoken to RFK personally, but I know there's been a lot of communication back and forth between RFK, between his campaign, Vance said. Look, our argument to RFK, and I'll make it right now, because of course he has not dropped out yet, is look, if you want the Democratic Party that protected America workers and stood for strong borders, maybe disagree with Republicans on things like tax policy, that party does not exist anymore. Apparently, there are three prominent individuals that have been key in persuading Kennedy to endorse Trump. According to NBC News, those three individuals are Donald Trump Jr., Tucker Carlson, and a very wealthy donor named Omid Malik. Persuading Kennedy to back Trump has been an ongoing project of Trump's older son, Donald Jr., former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, and wealthy donor Omid Malik, according to a source familiar with the efforts, who requested anonymity to divulge internal campaign deliberations. The three men have worked behind the scenes in meetings and calls with both principals to negotiate Kennedy's exit and endorsement, the source said. Ultimately, this is how the game is played. It's all about making deals, and Trump is about to make one of the most important deals he's ever made. One of the reasons why Kennedy may be making a move now is because his campaign has just about run out of money. Kennedy's campaign appeared to be running out of money, according to Federal Election Commission filings published earlier this week. At the end of last month, Kennedy's campaign owned close to $3.5 million and had only $3.9 million in hand. Kennedy could stay in the race and run up enormous debts, but at this point it has become clear that he has no path to victory. Sadly, it takes a ton of money to run for office these days. That's particularly true if you're trying to run for president. So what will the race look like before going forward? Many conservatives are convinced that Kennedy's endorsement will be an enormous boost for Trump. For example, Darren Beattie believes that Kennedy's endorsement could give Trump an immediate 2 to 3% point bump in the polls in all of the swing states. If that's true, it's a game changer. Insiders believe it could upend the race, giving President Trump an immediate 2 to 3 point bump in all swing states, with even more growth down the road. And now imagine RFK Jr. hitting the campaign trail for Trump. That would be huge. On the other hand, many on the left are trying to downplay the impact that Kennedy's endorsement is going to have on the race. The following comes from the Washington Post. Perhaps the most important point of consideration here again is that there simply are not that many Kennedy supporters. If Trump picks up fully half of them, it adds a few points to his national support, and according to 538's average, still has him trailing Harris. Making the announcement on Friday might be an effort to step on any improvement Harris sees from the convention, but that's not as though Kennedy has a big base or is viewed with broad favorability by Americans. Among those with an opinion, he's viewed more negatively than positively by a 6-point margin in 538's average. So who is right? We will just have to wait and see. At this stage, we're looking at a very close race. According to Time magazine, this election will be decided by just 7 ultra-important swing states. Those swing states are Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Hundreds of millions of dollars will be poured into those states, and much of the rest of the nation will be pretty much ignored. Both sides feel like the stakes could not be any higher, and it's literally going to feel like the end of the world for whichever side loses. Personally, I'm entirely convinced that there will be far more chaos after Election Day than before it. We truly are moving into uncharted territory, and I don't think that our country is ready to handle what is about to happen. This is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. This is by Michael Snyder. About the author, Michael Snyder's extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos is available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and The Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times, and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.